I'll soon provide to you the top 10 tourist destinations in Japan. Please watch the entire video if you can, because I also offer advice and tips for first-timers on how to make the most of your visit to Japan. And before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Let's start now. Japan is a mystery. It's the ideal blending of cutting-edge technology moving at breakneck speed with centuries-old customs. Many first-time visitors to Japan are frequently shocked to discover that this very small Asian country, which is one of the world's most advanced industrialized nations, also enjoys a rich and interesting history that extends back thousands of years. In fact, Japan's Shinto and Buddhist temples were already well established and attracting pilgrims and patrons to their ornate designs and decor long before many of Europe's most magnificent cathedrals were completed. The nation was simultaneously honing its trades and talents in everything from fine porcelain and pottery to fabrics like silk that would put it on the path to wealth. Despite wars and natural disasters, much of this rich tradition has been kept or restored, making a trip to Japan an unforgettable experience. A trip to Japan is undoubtedly a fantastic use of time and money because of the country's seemingly unending list of top attractions, enjoyable activities, and interesting places to see. Here are the top 10 tourist destinations in Japan will help you choose the greatest spots to visit. Number 10. Kenryukian Garden, Kinosawa. Japan's gardens, which are meticulously tended and decorated, are true pieces of beauty. Entering a Japanese garden is like stepping into a work of art. The Kenryukian Garden in Kinosawa is perhaps the most beautiful garden in all of Japan. The grounds, which were formerly a part of Kanazawa Castle, were made available to visitors in the 19th century. The garden is unique because it was created using what are referred to as the 6 essentials to construct a great garden. These characteristics include roominess, isolation, age, plenty of water, views, and artificiality. Visitors will come across lovely pools, babbling brooks, bridges, tea houses, thoughtfully placed stones and flower pits, as well as expansive views in the quiet corners. While strolling through the grounds, the park is a lovely location to see the cherry blossoms in the spring and the vibrant autumn colors in the fall. Number 9. Matsumoto Castle, Nagano. Japan is home to thousands of stunning, ancient castles, but none compares to Matsumoto Castle in terms of completeness or allure. The city of Nagano contains Matsumoto, which was constructed between 1592 and 1614. The spring, when the grounds of the castle are dusted a light pink by the bloom of hundreds of cherry blossoms, is one of the nicest times to visit. Visitors can get one of the best looks back in time within the castle. The timber interiors of Matsumoto Castle have been preserved, providing a very ancient atmosphere. The oldest 6-story castle tower still standing in Japan, Matsumoto Castle is one of 5 that have been designated as national treasures of Japan. Number 8. Kiyomizu-dera, Kyoto. Kyoto is literally bursting with breathtaking landmarks and locations. The city itself is a major draw, but one must visit Kiyomizu-dera, also known as the Pure Water Temple, when in Kyoto. Kiyomizu-dera, one of Japan's most revered temples, was erected on the site of the Otona waterfall in 780 CE. It was initially constructed as a component of the Hosso sect of Buddhism, but by the middle of the 20th century, it had established its own sect. The UNESCO World Heritage Site is famous today for its wooden stage that looks out over Kyoto's picturesque roofs and its magnificent trees, which consistently put on amazing color displays throughout both the fall and cherry blossom seasons. The Jishu Shrine and the Otona waterfall, which still gushes at the base of the monument's main hall, are 2 more significant sites that may be found on the property. Number 7. Fushimi Inari-Ipsa Shrine, Kyoto. You'll notice crimson when you visit Fushimi Inari-Ipsa Shrine, but in a lovely way. The Fushimi Inari Shrine, one of Japan's most significant temples, is located in southern Kyoto and is known for its tens of thousands, yes, tens of thousands, of scarlet-colored gates that arch over a maze of trails. Expect a very tranquil stroll in the direction of the forest surrounding empty areas. These arch-covered trails demand silence. One of the most revered gods in Shintoism, Inari is the Shinto god of rice. Fushimi Inari is undoubtedly the most significant of the thousands of temples that have been built in his honor. The vermilion gates are what most visitors come to see, but the shrine itself is also available for investigation, and the structures there are rather impressive. The 2 to 3 hour round trip walk up MT and area can also be done by tourists. Shrine and smaller gates, as well as eating establishments, may be found all along the mountain's ascent. Number 6. The Itsuta Shrine, Nagoya. The most significant Shinto temple in Japan is the Itsuta Shrine, which is located in the center of Nagoya and receives more than 5 million visitors annually. This sacred shrine, which dates back to the 1st century, is well known for having one of only 3 intact examples of the grass mowing sword, Kusanagi no Tsurugi, an imperial emblem. Its main shrine, Hundu, which is enclosed by a wall, as well as the treasure with its many works of art, including antique and contemporary paintings, ceramics, jewelry, and traditional masks, are both interesting. Be sure to visit Nagoya Castle while you are in the city. Built in 1612, this magnificent moated complex has a 48-meter-high main tower that is renowned for housing 2 gold dolphins, Shachi. It's also well known for its museum, which houses artwork from the previous palace, and its breathtaking views over both the city and the Nodi Plain. Number 5. Osaka's Castle. Osaka Castle, also known as Osaka-ji, was the largest and most significant castle in the nation when it was constructed in 1586 by renowned Japanese warrior and politician Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Despite having been repeatedly demolished and rebuilt since then, the current building, constructed in 1931, stays loyal to the original. A visit should not be missed to see the massive, 5-story, 42-meter-tall main tower. A number of exhibits tracing the history of the castle and the city are housed in the tower, which is constructed on an imposing 14-meter-tall stone base. Visit the top level for its magnificent views of Osaka, which are especially lovely as the sun sets. The Hokoku Shrine, which is located in Osaka Castle Park, is particularly noteworthy. Aitenjai, Osaka's most well-known temple, is also well worth a visit and dates back to AD 59. This gorgeous shrine includes a 5-story pagoda along with a variety of other exquisitely built buildings. It is noteworthy as Japan's first Buddhist temple. Among these are the Lecture Hall, KD, the Golden Pavilion, Kond, with its exquisite statues and artwork, and a magnificent covered hallway connecting 3 of the site's gates. Number 4. The Island Shrine of Itsukushima, Miyajima. The island of Miyajima, often known as Japan's Shrine Island, is only a short ferry journey from Hiroshima's mainland. Miyajima is a 30-square-kilometer island in Hiroshima Bay, best known for being the location of the Itsukushima Shrine, a Shinto shrine honoring the princess daughters of the wind god Susanoo. The majority of the shrine's structures, which date to the 8th century, stand out of the water in a small bay supported only by piles. At high tide, these constructions, especially the well-known Great Floating Gate, Otori, appear to be floating on water, which is a truly amazing effect. It's an interesting area to visit, especially its larger halls, which are connected by walkways and bridges. The magnificent Honden Main Hall, the Offerings Hall, Haiden, the Prayer Hall, Hayden, and the Hall with 1,000 mats are a few of these. Senjokaku, the shrine's stage, where visitors can enjoy traditional dances and musical performances, is another noteworthy aspect. The beautiful grounds and gardens of the island, which are home to wild deer and numerous bird colonies, are well worth exploring. Number 3. Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park. Much may be written about the extraordinary efforts this dynamic city has taken to remember the numerous victims of the world's first nuclear strike, even though nothing needs to be said about the atrocities of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima in August 1945. Hiroshima has come to represent long-lasting peace, which is perhaps even more significant. Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park, Hiroshima Heiwakan-in-ken, is located at the site of the atomic blast in what was once a bustling area of the city and is frequented by more than 1 million visitors annually, many of whom are foreigners. There are numerous significant memorials, museums, and monuments in this area dedicated to the events of that tragic day. Along with the grounds and gardens and their vibrant cherry blossoms, the park is home to the Peace Memorial Museum, which has a number of exhibitions addressing the topic of international peace. The atom bomb dome, the remains of an administrative structure that stood in the epicenter of the explosion, can also be found there, along with the memorial cenotaph and the flame of peace. Number 2. Imperial Tokyo. Nitsubashi Bridge and the Imperial Palace. When visiting the nation's capital, you absolutely must see the Imperial Palace, which is Tokyo's most well-known site. It has stunning 17th century parks that are encircled by walls and moats. Do not let the fact that the imperial family still uses the most of the palace deter you. There is still plenty to see by merely roaming the grounds. Visitors are allowed in the East Higashi-Gyoen Garden and other sections that are available to the public as part of an arranged tour. In addition to the countless lovely views of the palace from various locations in the surrounding parkland, a romantic viewpoint is of the well-known Ginza, a shopping area, the Kabuki-za Theater, which hosts kabuki plays, as well as the Shumbashi Inpajo Theater, which hosts traditional Azumodari dances and Binraku performances, are both located in this always busy location. Before we move on to number 1, please click the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Many thanks. Number 1. Mount Fuji. Majestic Mount Fuji, without a doubt Japan's most well-known landmark, is also the nation's tallest mountain summit. This spectacular and legendary mountain, which rises 3,776 meters over an otherwise mainly flat landscape to the south and east, is tall enough to be visible from Tokyo, more than 100 kilometers distant. Since Mount Fuji has been praised in literature and art for ages, it is now regarded as such a significant icon that, in 2013, UNESCO recognized its global cultural value. More than 1 million people climb Mount Fuji every summer as a form of pilgrimage that culminates in viewing the sunrise from its peak. Mount Fuji is a part of the Fuji-Hakotai National Park. While some climbers still choose to start at the bottom, the majority now start at the 5th station, which results in a more doable ascent of 6 to 8 hours. If you do decide to tackle the entire climb, it is advisable that you leave in the afternoon and break up the ascent with an overnight stay in one of the mountain huts, built specifically for this reason. The next morning, an early rise gets you to the top in time to see the dawn. In fact, many people only need to see the mountain in the distance or from the comfort of a moving train in order to declare that they have already completed the task at hand. Wait, we're not done yet. As promised, here are tips for making the most of your visit to Japan. Set your visit on slower season. Because Japan is blessed with so many amazing areas of interest, its best attractions can become very crowded during the busiest summer months. Create a sightseeing schedule that will enable you to discover this stunning country during the slower shoulder seasons. If you can be flexible with your travel planning, you'll not only benefit from the shorter lines, but you'll also get to experience things that most tourists won't be able to, such as the cherry blossoms in spring in locations like Nara Park, the brilliant fall colors in Yosanke Onsen, and the snow-covered ruins of Fukuoka Castle. Use public transportation such as bus and train instead of private transportation, which is more expensive. Fast, and you can save more while you travel around Japan. The fastest train is also here, and to save much more on the fare, book in advance. If you are interested in issues like this, please subscribe and click the bell icon to receive notifications when I add new videos. Goodbye.